Hey, I guess you could say this is part three in a three-part series. So previously I covered self-leadership and then I covered self-discipline, and now I'm going to cover self-reflection. And I know I've mentioned this and I probably recorded a separate video. Self-reflection as a skill, as part of this whole life lessons learned series, is of all the three that I'm outlining, this one is the one that really requires a high degree of emotional intelligence and all the other ingredients that we hear talked about today in the broader conversation of becoming a better human being. And self-reflection really is being willing to take and put this mirror up in front of yourself and go, wow, am I the person that I really wanted to be? In a sense, it's kind of a throwback to stoicism. And I was reading a post about Marcus Aurelius this morning that really connected with me in this regard. Being willing and able and acting upon self-reflection and being critical to the right degree, to the right level of your behavior, your performance, the way that you interact with people. All of this is just it's almost a missing ingredient that it's worth covering again, because being able to reflect and go, wow, that probably wasn't the best thing that I could have said to fill in the blank, or geez, I can't believe that I completely missed that particular step, or I completely forgot about that being a resource that I have available to me. Being able to, go back and, review the tape, as it were, looking at the game performance and going back and reviewing the tape and saying, oh, these are the specific moments where I can definitely work to improve on. That is the essence of self-reflection. That is the essence of seeing what you're doing, stepping out of the frame for a moment, assessing and reviewing and identifying what those things are that you're committed to changing and making better. Not just for you, but certainly this is kind of a you-focused concept, but for also the people around you. And I'm not great at it. Anybody who's been around me long enough can tell you that, hey, Tim, there are moments where he truly lacks self-awareness. He can't even figure out how to read the room correctly. He reads the room, but more often than not, he's not totally in tune with what's going on. And that's a fair assessment. I don't know how you are, but the internal dialogue oftentimes just overtakes the external dialogue. And, that's probably a whole video series on how to handle your inner critic. This is one of those things. And actually, by the way, I am not going to be highly editing this particular clip or even the two prior, because I'm going to use this as a catalyst, as a springboard for future recordings to explain, what I've learned about silencing the inner critic, dealing with the imposter. Look, folks, again, see, I'm demonstrating a moment of self-reflection while being self-deprecating and understanding that all of this is integrated. It all goes, together. And so this is just one of those things where I think age has a degree of influence on how well you can do it. But I've also met people who are younger than me who are like amazing at self-reflection. They're amazing at making these assessments of their own interaction and their own performance and being better the next time that we meet and have a conversation. And so I don't think age is a limit on this. I think it's just the willingness and the skill and the patterns that seem to be missing or lacking. And, it's not, don't mistake self-reflection for self-doubt. it is not that you question your ability. It is that you are looking for those key areas where you can say, I definitely could have done that better. I don't know how, but I'll find out, or I do know how, and I'll be more disciplined about doing XYZ or ABC. However you frame that, this is one of those deals where self-reflection is just, I guess it's a series of micro steps that you can take after every interaction where you get the sense that it just didn't go the way that you had envisioned it to go. Having these conversations, I mean, I've had plenty of them where it's like, how did this wrap up? This doesn't make any sense to me. There's no reason why it should have concluded this way. But taking that time to go, okay, Tim, what did you say? Well, you said blah. What did the other person say? They said blah, blah. So maybe it was a mismatch in the communication style. Maybe it was a mismatch in tone. Maybe it was a mismatch in expressing intent, making the implicit explicit. Could be any number of things, but taking that step back that's magic. That's alchemy at work. That's truly being a person who's aware and in tune and being willing to look at performance and go, this is the stuff I do well, and this is the stuff where I definitely need to focus and get better. And we talk about this in the context of trust at the company where I work. And, this is kind of part and parcel to it. It's an ingredient in that mix. So when you're the cook in the kitchen and you're doing all of this, and you're looking at self-leadership, and you're looking at self-discipline, and you're looking at self-reflection, these are kind of the three things that you can put into the mix that will ultimately make you just better at whatever you're pursuing. And, it's stuff that each and every one of us, no matter where we're at in our journey, personally and professionally, have the opportunity to take a look at and say, this is right for me, or no, this is not right for me, and it's not something I want to pursue at this point in time. So there we go. A little bit of self-reflection, another life lesson learned, brought to you by Tim Unscripted.